Rather interesting fact, you analyze the Ketuhanan Melayu from a non-communal perspective, because traditional political analysis has always used that as the fight between the Malay interests and Chinese interests, the idea of Ketuhanan Melayu. Rather interesting because you were to some extent department, you know that that has been used as an ideology of the ruling class to enhance their own interests. The question is that do you see DAP moving more and more into a truly multiracial party rather than a Chinese dominant party? Because as of now, you are dependent on the other partners to represent different communal interests. And to some extent, it's very much like Barisan, rather than a truly national party as such. And we have friends in Malaysia who believe that, DAP has got a stomach for a long haul as an opposition, but they doubt people like Anwar and even PAS has a stomach for a long haul as an opposition. They find ways to move back into Barisan at the slightest opportunities.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your comments that we seem like Barisan. But actually, we may seem like Barisan, we may look like Barisan, we may sound like Barisan, but we are not Barisan. And I say that because, our struggle has always been multiracial. When I entered politics, I wanted to de-racialize politics. I wanted to fight not for the Chinese or for any particular ethnic community. I want to fight for every Malaysian. I started off as when I went to overseas, my readings were very left-oriented. So we never talk about race, we talk about class struggle or class analysis. And, when I went to prison, the last time I went to prison, I went to prison for a Malay family. The politics of Malaysia involves the politics of victimization. And you find that most of the victims in Malaysia are actually ordinary people. Now, when I was a member of parliament, there was this girl who was raped. Instead of detaining the rapist, they detained the rape victim. Now, why do we keep on blaming the victim all the time? Women rape, always blame the women and not the rapist. Why you get yourself raped? Teo Beng Hot died. Instead of trying to find the culprits who murdered him, they blame him. Oh, you jump. That is the politics of victimization happening in Malaysia. And I tried to change that. And it was just a coincidence that she was a Malay that I was fighting for. And her grandmother went around looking for me because no one wanted to help her. And she only knew that Lim Kit Siang's son was the only person who can help her. She walked the entire city for days before she finally found me. And I felt so sorry for her. An illiterate old woman, not understanding how can the wheels of justice turn when her granddaughter is a victim who was raped, and yet she was the one detained and not the rapist. I fought for her. I ended up in prison. She was a Malay, but it never entered my mind that because she is a Malay, that I should not help her. And many Malays told me that really opened their eyes. And they were very, very troubled by the fact that they did not dare to stand together with me when I was persecuted and in prison. So I think as far as the Malays are concerned, my record speaks for itself. And I said just now, I want to prove that my government, a Malay leader can fight for the Chinese, a Chinese leader can fight for the Malays, and an Indian leader can fight for all. And I think that will be the final benchmark or the final test to see whether you can bring about a multiracial Malaysia.